Do you remember the first time you ever dunked?
The first time I dunked, I was in high school, but I haven't done it in the league yet. Don't count me out.
I know. I would never count you out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Sean Evans, and welcome to One More Round, where bold thinkers pull up for a drink and a conversation about life, creativity, and what they're chasing next. And I'm thrilled to be joined by Breanna Stewart. She's a basketball legend whose list of bona fides include 3 WNBA championships, 3 Olympic gold medals, and 4 NCAA titles. But her contributions to the game don't stop there. She's also the co-founder of the Unrivaled Women's Professional Basketball League. Breanna Stewart, thanks so much for joining me at the Bulleit Frontier Whiskey Bar.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I know that sometimes you can get a little embarrassed when people open up interviews and talk about your accolades, but it is a part of the story. You know, the 3 Olympic gold medals, the 4 NCAA championships, 3 WNBA titles. You won a pair of titles in Europe, all the awards, all the MVPs. What, if anything, at this point are you chasing?
I think what I'm chasing is just more. Especially now, like in the WNBA, we've been fortunate to win the first ever in Liberty history, but wanting to do it again and wanting to show the fans that, you know, this isn't just like a moment. We're continuing to make it a movement in what we do and setting the bar and the standard for everything. I feel like we're at such a pivotal point, and how can you not want to make it better?
Gino Auriemma said that nobody dominates big games like Stewie, and I wonder what makes you wired a little bit different, or what distinguishes the kinds of athletes who really thrive in the highest pressure situations versus the ones who shrink in them?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just a mindset, and I really learned this a lot at UConn. Like, basketball is 90% mental. Yeah, there's like 10% of the skill, and you have to have like the physical attributes to be able to play and be successful, but it's the mentality of, you know, what do I want to do? And that I believe I can do anything that I want on the court and that nobody can stop me.
The confidence.
The confidence, yeah.
Do you remember the first time you ever dunked?
The first time I dunked, I was in high school. And now people want me to still do it, and I'm like, all right, I gotta warm up. Like, I got like Achilles things going on. But the McDonald's All-American, the dunk contest, catching the lob, you know, you're in the names of Candace Parker, like, you want to live up to that expectation, but I haven't done it in the league yet. Don't count me out.
I know, I would never count you out.
Thank you.
And you talked earlier about bringing a title to New York. I know that was one of the major draws. What brought you to New York was this idea of not only coming home, but also winning the first championship in franchise history. So if that championship represents blazing a new trail or the weight of history, it made me curious what some of the other crowning games might mean to you. And I do want to start with the back-to-back state championships that you won while at Cicero North Syracuse High School.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about those championships, what are the things that come to mind? Like, why are they important to you?
My high school state championships are really important to me because I went to a public school. You know, I'm from upstate New York. I grew up in North Syracuse, and I was able to help put my team on the map. And we were top 10 in the country, which is insane, you know, from a public school perspective. And knowing it was like, it's more than just winning sectionals, section 3 where we were. It's like, how can we do states? And we won states, and then they
like opened it up to a national tournament, right?
Yeah,
which is crazy to me. 96 teams, right? They plucked the best teams and then put you guys all together.
Yeah, and I was proud of the way that my team, we just came together. You know, a few players went lower D1. I obviously went to UConn, and we just made the most memorable years out of it, because, you know, hopefully they'll win another state championship, but
maybe not.
Maybe not, and it's a hard thing to do. Winning is hard.
How about the championship that you won your freshman year at UConn, 2013? I'd imagine that one hits a little bit different, especially because of the struggles that you had in the middle of that season.
Yeah. My freshman year was like a roller coaster. I started off hot. Everything was great. I was like, it's college, UConn, Coach Auriemma, like, it's easy, it's no problem. And then I hit like the freshman kind of, I don't even know, rut, struggle.
The tape came out. Maybe they were scheming you different, something.
Something was there. I couldn't even make a layup. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but the mindset, the mentality, like that part that I talked about is so real. But winning the national championship that year was so special because nobody thought we were. And that's my only year where they thought we weren't going to. Baylor lost, Brittany Griner, they lost on some crazy shot. And we were like, this is our chance. This is our opportunity. And we went and we just seized the moment.
How about more recently, the 1-point victory that you guys had against France in this most recent Olympic Games?
Yes.
Considering that stage, basically being a home game for them, what does that one mean for you?
Honestly, like being at the Olympics and playing the host country in the gold medal game, like that's exactly what you want, because you want to feel that. And I hope like every country wants to feel that when we come to LA in 28, but stakes were high. Like we knew France was making it really tough with us. They were up double digits at one point, and it was literally us against everyone else in that arena. Like nobody was cheering for the United States.
Not giving you anything.
Except our family and friends section, which was very, very small. So it's just chaotic. And I remember Gabby catching it and knowing she was inside the 3. And I didn't want to foul her, and she made it, but I was like, listen, there's that picture. That was definitely a 2.
And then one more for you. I'm curious about the first WNBA championship, 2018 with Seattle. You know, you enter the league. They're in kind of a rebuilding phase. What did that one mean to you?
Yeah, I think 2018 is probably one of the more special championships that I've been a part of, just because, like you talked about the rebuild. My rookie year, we were like, I don't know, 17 and 19. And coming from UConn and losing
like 4 times more games than you lost your entire college career. Yeah.
Why does this happen? Why are we doing this? My second year, we got a little bit better, but it was at that point where you make the playoffs and you get knocked out in single elimination. You know, so we weren't able to do what we wanted. In 2018, we put the pieces together, having Sue as our leader, playing with Jewel, and I'll never forget how the fans were in that arena, like how they erupted every single time, and just bringing it back to Seattle.
And then obviously you have this unimpeachable trophy case, but what has been the most heartbreaking loss or moment? Like what was the hardest L to shake?
The hardest was when we lost in the finals to Vegas, my first year with New York. Game 4, playing back at Barclays, we just won one game. We need to win this one to keep ourselves alive, and I missed a game-winning shot. But just because of our back and forth and history and all the emotions with Vegas, it was hard to get over that one. Like getting back and working out after that was not easy.
How has your relationship with failure changed or evolved over the course of your career? Because you have this kind of frictionless experience through high school and then through college. You enter a rebuild in Seattle, of course, the Achilles injury. Like, how have those obstacles, those pitfalls, how have they changed your mindset?
Yeah, I think the failures, the adversity, like, listen, I don't ever want to fail. That's like the number one thing that I don't ever want to do. But it happens. And it's like, it's almost embracing that. Embracing failure, because you can't win them all. You can't do everything that you want to do, and sometimes there's going to be a adversity of an injury or missing a game-winning shot or a free throw. But like the way that I kind of grow from that is what's going to separate me from anybody else.
Your tunnel fashion has been very consistent over the years. Do you have any foundational tips for getting a fit off when you're really tall?
Yeah. Tips when you're really tall, don't really wear long sleeves unless they definitely fit.
They make it there?
This one is making it to the wrist. But I think my fashion has grown a lot. I mean, I hope everyone's has. When you look back at the pictures from before, you're like, what was I wearing? There was one of the All-Stars that I was a part of that I saw at this past All-Star, and I was like, who let me walk like that? who let me walk out of the house like that?
We all have Gettys like that, you know?
Yeah, mine can go somewhere else. But being comfortable and being confident in what I'm wearing and knowing like what fits your body best, but also it's not only about what you're wearing, just how you feel when you wear it.
When you think about the WNBA rings that you have, is there a coolest feature? Like, is it true that the Liberty one like opens up to reveal diamond earrings on the inside?
Yes, that one is the Liberty ring is incredible. I should have brought it. You should have told me. Yeah, so it like twists open, and then there's like diamond earrings inside. So you can have that, but also you can create like a chain if you want to just have the ring hanging.
And then I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about, When did you first really talk out the idea of creating Unrivaled? You know, this 3-on-3 sports league that you launched with Nafisa Collier earlier this year. Talk me through that. Was it kind of a back of the napkin, sketching it out thing at first? Like, how did those conversations start?
Yeah, so Unrivaled, we were in talks about it 2 years ago. So 2 years before it launched, almost 3 years. Fee and her husband Alex came to me and we're like, we have an idea and we want you to be a part of this with us. And it was like, you know, we want to keep players home because I've played in Russia and China and Turkey. Like, I've gone all over, which is great in its own right, but like nothing like being home. And I was like, I'm in. Like, of course, this sounds amazing, but what do we do next? The hardest part was selling it, getting people to understand what was our dream and how we were going to make it possible. And then you fast forward to the inaugural season this past winter, and it was incredible.
What's the most fun thing about building a league from the ground up? You know, I imagine it is kind of cool. Like you think about colors, you think about logos, bespoke rules, changing the dimensions of the court. Like, was there a most rewarding part of that process for you?
I think the most rewarding part of the process was just the fact that we're able to cater it to exactly what we need. You know, we've all been a part of different leagues and we know what has worked and what hasn't. So why don't we just get all the good things and make them a part of this league? So we had the best of the best, like facilities, amenities, like staff. Players are making the highest average salary in U.S. sports history. Like, those kind of numbers we haven't seen before. But then the fans, the way that they were coming in from different markets, WNBA markets, and showing us how much they needed this. Not only the players, but the fans needed it too.
And then you're talking about some of the challenges. I'm wondering if you can talk about it a little bit deeper. You know, you're talking about selling it. Was it frustrating to try to sell the dream to sponsors, or like talk about why this is important? Because I don't think fans really realize so often WNBA players are going from the off season and then they're playing overseas. I don't think people fully understand that.
No, I mean, the hardest part, like I said, was selling it to the investors and getting the people to really, like, literally buy in. Because they were like, well, why should we believe you? Why should this work? And thankfully, we were at a very pivotal time of women's sports and wanting to watch.
Good leverage point.
Literally, perfect leverage point. But it was just like putting it all out there, showing them. Like, you go to Russia or China or Turkey and you make 3-4 times what you make in the WNBA. Like, why? Why can't we do that here?
And then finally, we like to close here by really talking out a dream. And I want to focus yours on Unrivaled, right? When you close your eyes and kind of picture how big you dream it, what do you see? Like, where are you playing? How big has the stage become? How many fans are there? Can you talk me through it?
When I think about my dream and what I want for Unrivaled, I think about us expanding. You know, we were able to plan this facility where we could hold probably 3,000 to 5,000 people, but we want 25 on a nightly basis and paying everybody 7 figures. I think that's something that everybody deserves, because all of these professional women's basketball players, they need to be valued. And at Unrivaled, we value everybody. So more money, more attendance, and we can go a little global. We could do some overseas.
Some franchising? Yeah. Expanding.
Exactly.
I see the vision. Well, Breanna Stewart, thank you so much for joining me for a good drink and an even better conversation. Let's cheers to the spirit of doing things. And thank you to Bulleit Frontier Whiskey for making this all possible.
I should have brought you a hat.
I know, I need a hat. I need a Stu York hat. That's what I need.
Honestly, you can take this.
Can I?
Yeah.
Wow.
1, 2, 3.